Talkative yet angry Jose Reyes being led out of the 23rd precinct in handcuffs. The 31-year-old from the Bronx was picked up just a little more than 25 hours after police say he assaulted and tried to rape a 25-year-old woman on the F train platform at the 63rd Street subway station on Lexington Avenue. The time 11 a.m. Saturday morning. Reporters asked Reyes why he tried to rape the woman.
Why did you attack her?
She wanted to get attacked in the boat.
She wanted to get attacked?
Yes.
Why would she want to get attacked?
Because she's a female.
Police say the victim and Reyes were actually riding in the same subway car, and when she got off at 63rd Street, he followed her, made an obscene gesture, and then pounced.
Mr. Reyes gestured in a masturbation motion towards her, and the complainant victim, in an attempt to avoid him, moved in a different direction. However, Mr. Reyes followed her, which resulted in him assaulting her, punching her, pushing her to the ground.
Good Samaritans videotaped the assault on the platform, and that's what police say made Reyes stop the assault, and the video also helped police track him down. Because Reyes had been arrested at least 15 times before, police say their facial recognition team was able to use the cell phone video to ID him from their database.
They did an absolute phenomenal job, swiftly, expeditiously, working overnight to identify who our perpetrator was.
3 Crime Stopper tips led police to Reyes, where he was picked up 3 blocks from the 23rd Precinct Station House at 105th and Lexington.
If law enforcement is not there, if nobody's there, the only defense that we got is, I guess, our phones to catch footage.
Like, usually you think that, like, when you ride the subway at night, like, that's, like, something to worry about. But to, like, have to think about that, like, it even happens, like, broad daylight, like, that's so scary.
All praise to the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of Yashra all. And your brother coming back at you with just a quick edification. And man, it's getting crazy out here. Seriously. Yeah, this seemed to be I don't know if he's a Dominican or Puerto Rican, you know, what some brothers would consider the Northern Kingdom Israelites, man, just straight up pouncing on a woman right here in the subway and attempting to rape her. Now, pay special attention to the beginning of the video, the actual newscast, and there was 2 numbers that were mentioned. The number 11, right? This attack happened on a Saturday at 11 a.m. Okay, a Saturday at 11 a.m. And the scriptural meaning of the number 11 is to symbolize disorder, chaos, and judgment. Disorder, chaos, and judgment. And let me tell you, that's what's going to happen. We're going to have disorder. We're going to have chaos. But that's going to be the judgment of a lot of you 2/3. You 2/3 of the nation of Israel, you so-called black and Negro, you black Negro men and women, you Negro Hispanic men and women, right, who refuse to submit yourself to the Most High, to come back and to observe his law, statutes, and commandments. Yo, your script is already written. You're finished. You're out of here. And before you go, you're going to suffer, right? Now, the spirit of feminism and the Jezebel spirit that reigns over Babylon is causing a lot of our women to take on this free, independent, I can do it all by myself type of spirit. And a lot of these sisters are going to suffer the same fate as this woman almost did in the train station here in Manhattan. Rapes, murders, you know, bands of men coming in and kicking your door to take your food and to take you hostage, to use you for themselves and to use you as a bartering tool for goods and service, to trade your WAP, as Cardi B would put it, for goods and services, right? We're coming into those times. The food trucks are going to stop coming in. There's going to be civil war. There's going to be race war. There's going to be all hell breaking loose, right? And you sisters that, feel as though that you're equal to a man, these nut jobs are going to show you that you are not equal to a man in physicality or in viciousness, right? Because they're going to be very brutal with you. Okay, that's just the truth of the matter. Let's go ahead and get some scriptures. I'll go ahead and prove it with the scriptures. I'm not even going to talk for myself. Let's go ahead and go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 13. The book of Isaiah 13, 15 through 16. Isaiah 13, 15 through 16. Every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto them. So all you swirlers, okay? Right? Some brothers call it bed winching. I don't call it that. I call it just women being women. You placate to the dominant society and to the ruling class. And right now, that's the so-called white man. He's ruling. And so a lot of our sisters are attracted to that. But, it's going to be a downfall. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. The sword is coming for you swirlers. That's the truth of the matter, man. Okay, and that's male and female, right? But let's get to the crux of the point here. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Wow. Their houses shall be spoiled. I just mentioned, caravans of men, marauders coming in to kick in your door, take your food, take your supplies, take your water, take your garments, whatever you have that's of value. And for you single women out there, man, take you, right? After they've had their fun with you themselves, they'll keep you and just kind of pass you around and use you as a bartering tool with other marauding groups. That's what's going to happen. Okay. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their women, their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished, right? There's going to be a lot of rape going on, right, in these last days. Okay? A lot of that. It's going to get real sick out here, man. It's going to get real sick out here. And we see that happening in society right now. Society is breaking down right before your eyes. You see that the chaos is happening with Black Lives Matter, the Marxist organization funded by George Soros. You see the chaos is happening with the partner group Antifa, literally going through cities and burning down businesses and burning down buildings. A lot of black businesses have been burnt down by these groups. You say Black Lives Matter, but then you burn down black businesses. Okay? How much sense does that make? It doesn't make sense. It's chaos. It's chaos. Okay? But the elite, they need that chaos so they can bring out the order. All right? Remember that number. I says two numbers. One, number 11. 11 meaning disorder, chaos, and judgment. They said that this attack happened at 11 a.m. on a Saturday. Now, Mr. Jose Reyes, they mentioned that he was arrested 15 times. These two numbers were pretty prominent in the program, pretty prominent in the broadcast. The number 15 represents deliverance, rest that comes after deliverance. Okay, so after all the chaos, Israel's going to have rest. We're going to go through Jacob's trouble. All right. The 2/3, y'all done, y'all up out of here. And once y'all cleanse, the Most High is going to test and try his people simultaneously and try us and refine us as fine gold. Right. If we be so blessed to be a part of the elect, that 1/3. Try the 1/3 as gold, refine them, and make them ready for rulership. Okay, that's what's happening. All right, let's get some more scriptures. Let's go to Isaiah 13 and 12. The book of Isaiah 13, chapter 12. I will make a man. Actually, you know what? Before we go there, let's go to Isaiah 32. Let's go to Isaiah 32 and 2. Isaiah 32:2. And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and as a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. Right? So a man's going to be the hiding place from the wind and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place. As rivers of water in a dry place. So the men, the real men, the men of the Most High, are going to have rivers. Rivers and water represent wisdom and knowledge. They're going to have the wisdom and knowledge to feed the flock and feed you sisters, right, in a dry place, because you've bought into feminism. You've bought into toxic femininity, and it's left you dry, right? Likened into the valley of the dry bones in Ezekiel. Right? As the shadow of a great rock in a weary land, your protection. Right? The Most High is raising up his men to be protectors and to be leaders and to have knowledge and wisdom to instill upon the nation, our people, and upon our women. Okay? That's what we're going into. Right? To protect you from nut jobs like this Reyes, Jose Reyes here, whom, based on the numbers 11 and the numbers 15 that they mentioned prominently in his broadcast, I believe that he probably is some sort of Manchurian candidate that they activated to perform this quasi-rape, not to actually rape the woman, but to, and I shouldn't say rape, I should say assault, because YouTube really goes against, when you mention those words, the algorithms work against that video. But to assault this woman, I believe he's a Manchurian candidate. And that his action was not to actually assault the woman, to sexually assault the woman, but to actually plant the seed as to what you can actually do in these last days. You see, you asked for defunding the police, right? When you align with Black Lives Matter, when you align with Antifa and they're demanding defunding of the police, when you have congresswomen saying we need to dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department, dismantle it and do what with it? There has to be law enforcement. There has to be law enforcement or there's going to be chaos. And in a city like New York, where you cannot protect yourself with a firearm, what are women going to do? They're vulnerable. They're going to be attacked. There's no equalizer. There's no force multiplier. Okay, like a 38 caliber pistol, like a 9mm, something that you can put in your purse or have on your person to fend off attackers like this. You don't have that in cities like New York. You can't have that in cities like Chicago. Right? You can't have that in California. So what are women going to do? They're going to be susceptible to attack. So while you're screaming Black Lives Matter, yeah, defund the police, you're setting yourself up for assault. Okay? It's not going to be pretty. All right? I believe this guy right here, Jose, he's a Manchurian candidate based on the numbers here. And he was programmed to do just that. What he did, that was his duty. That's what he performed. He's arrested 15 times, a couple times for rape and another. How's he out in the streets? Right? He's out in the streets because that's his job, to be out in the streets. Right? He's a candidate. He's a Manchurian. So he's going to be out there. He's going to enforce and plant the seed for what the chaos that's going to ensue this country pretty soon. Outright rapes in the street, sexual assaults in the street, kicking in doors, so on and so forth. All that's going down. All right. Not gonna be before you guys long. Let me go ahead and finish it out with another scripture here. Isaiah 13:12. Isaiah 13:12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. So when all this stuff is popping off here, men, real men, okay, not the soy boys, okay, but the men of the Most High who've studied the word, who know what's going on, right? And there's even levels to that. There's men of the Most High who study, but there's also men of the Most High who study and who are trained in the arts, who know how to manipulate firearms, who are maximizing their genetic potential, and they're in the gyms doing deadlifts and squatting and military presses and bench presses, incline press, and all the muscle building exercises that build your testosterone and make you stronger and faster and well suited to perform your duties as a man, to have that masculine dominant appearance, even that, right? Okay. Because it's spiritual and it's physical as well. Remember, Saul, the first king of Israel, he stood head and shoulders above most of the Israelites. He was a tall, handsome guy, right? So the physicality plays into it as well, right? He had that projecting figure, that masculine dominating figure, okay, to project leadership and dominance. That's a part of it as well. And a lot of times we kind of get away from that as Israelite men, but we got to kind of keep that. It's all about balance, right? Those type of men are going to be precious because they're coming from the Most High, and they're going to be here to lead and to protect, right? One last scripture, and I'm out of here. Matthew 24:12. Matthew 24. You know what? Let's go ahead and start at verse 10. Matthew 24:10. And then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. Israelites hating Israelites. Israelite men hating Israelite women, right? Israelite women hating Israelite men, hate one another, right? And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. Okay, we have that happening a lot here. In the truth, outside the truth, in the churches, we got to really be careful. Verse 12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. That is a loveless act right there. You have no love for your people to attempt to sodomize or attempt to sexually assault, who I believe is another sister, right in the subway. Okay. Right. They had her face blurred out. If it's not a sister, then you best believe you sisters are on the chopping block for that, because you're the single independent ones that are by yourselves and can't seem to hold on a man for protection. So take this as a warning. It's out of love. It's not out of hate. It's not out of, me trying to degrade my sisters. I love my people more than you know. This is just a warning of what's going to take place. So my prayers are with the Israelite man, that he steps up, that he becomes the king that he ought to be, and that he leads and protects, starting with himself and his household, and that you sisters become the princesses that you're supposed to be, and subject yourself to the wisdom of that man, as you subject yourself to Hamashiach, as you subject yourself to the Most High, and support that man and be a blessing to your household. And let's get ready to get up out of here. We're almost home. All right. So with that, I hope this has been edifying. Peace and blessings. Shalom.